Hey, what's going on, everybody? Justin here at Trump Reads, and in this video, we're going to be doing a quick look at my TBR for an upcoming nonfiction readathon. And pretty much, if I ever hear about or see a nonfiction anything kind of related readathon, I think I'm pretty much compelled to join in and do it. But that's definitely a good thing. I really enjoy nonfiction, pretty much anything. But anyways, this one is hosted by Julie at the Hungry Bookworm, and it takes place from January 21st through the 31st. And I have my paper here because I have 3 books that I want to read that I don't actually have physical copies for. So, and then some of the subtitles, as you will see, are like really long, so I don't want to like completely screw it up. But anyways, she's hosted a nonfiction readathon before, and it's really fun. And basically, there are no prompts. It's more just to really relax, just try to read some nonfiction during those, let's see, what, 10 days or so, or whatever it is. Just try to read some nonfiction, get some nonfiction reading in. But anyway, so let's just get started with my TBR. All right, the first one, actually, I'm going to be doing 2 NetGalley books. Still way behind on those. But this is a good chance to get 2 of them knocked out of the way. And people seemed really interested with this first one when I first talked about it in another video. But the book is The Flavor of Wood, and the subtitle is In Search of the Wild Taste of Trees from Smoke and Sap to Root and Bark. And this is by Arthur Cesar Erlach, who I believe is an Austrian like gastronomist and author or something like that. It sounded just like a really interesting book, basically tasting all kinds of flavors that come from different parts of trees, I guess. Everyone seemed really interested when I mentioned it in another video. I think my January TBR, so it's a good way to fit this into the nonfiction readathon. Anyways, my only concern is now that I've been thinking about it, I'm just afraid that it's gonna be like a lot of just things like tea, because it uses like tree leaves and things like that. So it's not really eating the tree per se. I know that sounds like really weird, but I guess that's what I'm kind of hoping for. It's somehow like the main portions of trees are somehow being eaten by different cultures and stuff. I think that would be just like really quirky and cool to learn about. So anyway, so that's why I'm going with The Flavor of Wood. Alright, and now my other NetGalley book is The Field Guide to Dumb Birds of North America. And this is by Matt Croft. And this just looked like a really funny, silly read. I really enjoy kind of like nonfiction comedy. And this just kind of looks like a parody of like, you know, those field guides that you always see of like, you know, field guides in, you know, North America or New England or whatever country or like region that you're living in. But as you can see, I don't know if you'll be able to read it if I can blow it up, but as you can see, the white-breasted butt nugget, like it looks really ridiculous. But I'm hoping it's just a really good time reading it. I really enjoy reading about nature. I've read a couple books on birds in the past, and here at my house we have literally, I think, 2 50-pound bags of like sunflower seeds, and then like bird seeds, and we got like suet blocks and a bird feeder and a hummingbird feeder and little thing. We just throw out food and stuff all the time, like bird food all the time for birds and stuff. So my wife is just like obsessed with birds, if you haven't figured that out already from like other videos and everything. But basically we like birds here, so I just thought it'd be kind of a funny read on ornithology, basically. So that's why I'm going with The Field Guide to Dumb Birds of North America. Alright, so now for the physical book that I actually do own, which I started last year, I need to finish, and I think this is a good time to finish it, is Barry Cunliffe's The Extraordinary Voyage of Pythias the Greek. Barry Cunliffe is known for his Celtic writings, and what this book is about, if you guys don't know who Pythias the Greek was, he was a Greek from Massalia, which would be Marseille, France today, who basically traveled northward through much of the Celtic world. In classical times, this would be like the 4th century BCE. And he presumably went all the way up to about where the Arctic Circle is. It's, you know, debated whether he went to, he wrote about Thule, or Thule Ultima, which we're not exactly sure, or maybe, I assume this book is going to delve into that a lot deeper. But I've read elsewhere that some people think it's like Iceland, or another group of scholars believe it's like northern Norway, stuff like that. But anyways, no matter what, he went really far north and was basically the farthest, you know, or furthest north any civilized person went. in the classical world. I just think it'd be kind of a neat book to read about. Basically, he wrote a book called like On the Oceans, where he talked about all his travels and stuff. However, it didn't survive down to our age, though lots of other authors quoted or referenced his work, including Diodorus Siculus and Strabo the geographer. So we do have quite a few references to basically what he wrote down and stuff. So I think it'll be cool, kind of like a little commentary book on, like, you know, what's come down to us about Pythias the Greek, and kind of just the Celtic world and the basically Northern Europe during the classical world. Just think it'd be a cool little book to read about, and I've read the first quarter or third of the book, something like that. It was pretty good so far, even though a lot of that was sort of the introductory kind of background, context setting and stuff. But anyways, it just sounded like a really interesting kind of travelogue type of book. So there's The Voyage of Pythias the Greek. Alright, and lastly, for an audiobook to try and squeeze in during those days, is The Republic of Pirates. And this is a book I've had for about a year now. I want to say when I first started Audible. Something like that. It's pretty old. And it's by Colin Woodard. And this is like the subtitle I had to write down. Being the true and surprising story of the Caribbean pirates and the man who brought them down. So this is about, I assume, the golden age of piracy during the like really late 1600s and the like the first quarter of the 1700s. I assume around like the Republic of Nassau, things like that. So pirates are always kind of like an interesting subject, and I want to say I don't think I've ever read like an adult nonfiction book on pirates, but it's just a really cool, interesting topic, and I'm trying to branch out with new subject matter and new time periods and eras in history that I normally don't read about, because obviously, you know, 1700s is not a, usually once I hit about 1500, that's like where my history sort of cuts off. So I think it'd be kind of interesting to learn about basically the turn of what would that be, the 18th century in basically the New World. I think it'd be kind of just a cool book, and you know, who doesn't like reading about pirates, basically. So I hope this one lives up to being a cool kind of pirate book. I think it's got a lot of, from what it sounds like, it's not just kind of an overview of, you know, pirates in general, but it actually has more like vignettes or biographies of individual sort of pirate captains, things like that. So sounds really interesting, and I'm hoping it pans out to be really cool pirate history book, basically. So there are the 4 books I want to try and read from January 21st to the 31st. I'll leave a link down to Julie's video down below. You should definitely go check out her channel, subscribe if you haven't already. I just really enjoy her channel, and I love these like sort of impromptu nonfiction readathons that she puts out. Participated the last one, had a pretty good time, and obviously I'm gonna do this one as well. So thanks for hosting that, Julie. So leave some comments down below if you're going to participate in the Nonfiction Readathon, or if you want to talk about any of the books I mentioned, or if you have any nonfiction suggestions for me to check out. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And always remember, whatever you read victoriously.